You've heard about the opioid crisis. It's real. It's closer than you think. Every day, over 128 Americans die from opioid overdose. It's touching Hoosiers all over Indiana. The opioid crisis may be affecting someone around you, a family member, a friend, neighbor, or even a coworker. What can we do to help? Where do we start? It begins by knowing the facts about opioid use disorder. It will change how we think and what we say. Through knowledge, we'll better understand how we can help reduce the stigma surrounding opioid misuse. It's time to understand. The opioid crisis impacts us all. By increasing our understanding of opioid use disorder, we can do our part to help end this crisis. But first, we need to know the basics. What are opioids? You may have heard of opioids like oxycodone, known as Oxycontin, hydrocodone, known as Vicodin, codeine, morphine, and fentanyl. These are prescription pain medications that are most often taken in pill form. They require a prescription from a doctor, but can also be obtained illegally on the street. Heroin and fentanyl are highly addictive and powerful opioids that are injected, smoked, or inhaled and can be deadly, even in small doses. The use of these opioids has skyrocketed and the impact has been devastating. Let's begin with fact 1. Opioid use disorder is a disease. Although people react differently to opioid use, dependence can happen almost immediately. The threshold to dependence is like an invisible line. The line is different for each person. As the use of opioids increases, dramatic changes in brain function increase. This increased desire and planning on how to get opioids becomes an obsession and leads to misuse. When this threshold is crossed, it becomes a chronic brain disease known as opioid use disorder. Like other diseases, opioid use disorder requires treatment. As you are aware, there are treatments for most diseases, and the good news is there is treatment for opioid use disorder, and this treatment can lead to recovery. Fact 2 is that there is treatment. It's important to know that learning to live without opioids is possible with treatment, help, and support. When someone becomes dependent on opioids, opioids have a hold on them. For those with opioid use disorder, treatment is not an easy, quick fix. Getting better takes time. Let's listen to those who know and have experienced this firsthand.
So my treatment and the start of my journey to recovery definitely impacted my loved ones, like my parents, my brothers and friends, and it was probably about 4 or 5 years ago when I first went into like a sober living facility. And again, at the time, in my mind, I still thought I wasn't like everyone else. I thought I was maybe the exception to the rule. I'd figure this out. But I had a friend of mine in the sober living take me to some support groups and meetings and things like that. And that's where I really became more educated on it and realized that I probably did qualify and need some help. And unfortunately, at the time, I still was not ready, but that was the first glimpse of it.
So I knew that the combination of drugs I was doing at the time was going to be dangerous for me to withdraw from. So sometimes people, treatment-wise, you're able to go to outpatient services, or you're able to maybe go to 12-step meetings, or things that don't require you actually checking in somewhere. But I knew because of the medical things associated with the drugs I was using and the withdrawal, the risk of seizures, that I was going to need to go somewhere. Inpatient is what they say for detox, and I trusted the person that had referred me there. And quite frankly, this is 10 years ago, there wasn't a ton of options. There was only a couple places that you could go and get this type of treatment. So it was a reliance on somebody I knew, but also limited options.
So when I was released from jail, after being in jail for 3 weeks and attending 12-step meetings through the jail, I decided that when I got out that I would continue to seek 12-step meetings. I didn't do traditional inpatient treatment my inpatient treatment was jail. And when I was released, I was already detoxed. And I'd gone through my withdrawals, and I'd already been sober for 21 days. So I just continued to work a 12-step program.
At one point, I went to a methadone clinic and stayed there for about 5 years. I would get some periods of abstinence, but recovery never took hold for me during that time. And then even after, I went to prison in 2012, so after 2012, I came home from prison, I was abstinent, but there would be a moment where I'd use opioids one time and then I'd get back into abstinence. And then when my brother died, I used some opioids again. I used heroin for the first time in my life during that period of time. But I had one foot in recovery. I was going to 12-step meetings. My parole officer and my probation officer made me go to meetings, so I was hearing some recovery. So that helped keep me kind of tethered to the hope that there was a better life out there.
As you see, treatment is key in helping someone overcome opioid use disorder. It can help them improve their health. However, setbacks do happen. And unfortunately, setbacks may be part of the recovery process. It may take several tries to stop using opioids. However, a person with opioid use disorder should not give up. There's always hope for recovery. The good news is that many people are living in recovery here in Indiana. Treatment methods can be combined with individual and group counseling, 12-step fellowship programs, or peer support. These are designed so that no one is alone in their treatment. According to the National Council for Behavioral Health, it's important to give and receive support from others. Let's discuss treatment options that are available to those with opioid use disorder. Outpatient treatment is administered by a doctor or clinician. Treatment or outpatient services may occur in or near the person's own community, allowing them to remain at home. Inpatient treatment may occur in a hospital or residential facility for a few days or weeks. Medication-assisted treatment, also known as MAT, combines medication with behavioral therapy, including counseling. There is strong evidence that medication-assisted treatment is considered the best practice for opioid use disorder. There are 3 FDA-approved medication-assisted treatment options. Methadone, a treatment option that is dosed once a day under close supervision at a clinic. Here, daily visits provide structure to patients. Historically, this treatment has been the most effective method in treating opioid use disorder. Buprenorphine, a medication treatment that is taken daily by the individual. It is convenient, safe to use, and provides a milder withdrawal. It is available as a daily dissolving tablet, a cheek film, or a 6-month implant under the skin. Naltrexone, a long-acting treatment that is injected monthly by a medical professional or individually taken as a pill once a day. It helps prevent cravings that can lead to a setback. People's needs are different. For this reason, different treatment options are available that work for different people.
The doctor prescribed it when I was still pregnant and at the stress center. I had learned about the methadone clinic. Prior to that, my brother had an opioid use disorder too, and he had found the methadone clinic before I'd ever even heard about it. And he's the one that told me about the methadone clinic, and that's why I got into that. A lot of treatment methods that I've heard about has just been word of mouth, just random chance of learning about something.
So we said we're gonna go to the clinic. This was in October. We're gonna go to the clinic. Everyone's like, oh, you might as well do it, you might as well. And then I had these people, it's the same thing, Josie, it's liquid handcuffs. You're still gonna have to go there every day. You're not gonna be able to be without it. You're still gonna have to go there. You're gonna be there forever. You're gonna be there, things happen, you're gonna be there, you're gonna be stuck on it, but what do I have to lose? I've lost everything. Why not? Why not take a chance that this may help me? So we came and we woke up that day and we said, no, we're not gonna use, we're gonna go there. That way we know how it's gonna help us. And it was literally the best thing that has ever happened to me.
One day, I can't even remember the day it happened. One day, we had lost everything. We had nothing except the clothes on our back. And we looked at each other and we said, Mom, we're going to the methadone clinic. Even though people have talked bad about it, they put it down. There has to be something there. There has to be some reason why people still go there. So we came to this program here in Miller. And ever since we took our first dose of the methadone, we have not got high. We walked away from it. We've had clean drops for over a year, and we don't think about drugs no more. We have our first home. We have a bank account. We're involved in church. We have things now, and I would never, ever go back to it. So if somebody tells you that it doesn't work, they're wrong. Everybody's different. Everybody has their time limit on it. And everybody has to come off when they're ready. But you have to be ready. You can't go off before you're ready.
I believe you can force anybody to go to rehab and you can force anybody to do this, but you can't, because you can give them the tools, but unless they're willing to use them and want to use them, it's not gonna work. So you have to want a better life.
Despite the success of medication-assisted treatment, there is stigma associated with medication-assisted treatment. Some critics may contend that medication-assisted treatment is substituting one drug for another. However, in reality, medication-assisted treatment is considered the gold standard for treating opioid use disorder because it reduces drug use, reduces risk of overdose, reduces drug injection misuse behavior, and reduces criminal behavior. It's important to remember treatment is not always easy, and there may be withdrawal symptoms that one could experience, such as headaches, nausea and vomiting, diarrhea, sweating, fatigue, anxiety, and insomnia. That's why it is important to seek treatment with FDA-approved medications to assist individuals on their road to recovery. To ensure all Hoosiers struggling with opioid use disorder have access to medication-assisted treatment, we have added opioid treatment programs across our state. These opioid treatment programs are available to help those seeking treatment. There are currently treatment clinics located in cities and counties throughout Indiana. If someone you know is struggling with addiction and is ready to seek treatment, there are resources available to them. To learn about treatment options, go to www.in.gov/recovery and click on the Treatment tab. There, you'll find a link to a treatment portal that allows you to search for certified addiction treatment providers in the state of Indiana. For immediate assistance, dial 211 to be connected to treatment. Knowing there are treatment resources available can help save a life. It begins with understanding that opioid use disorder is a disease, which allows us to speak with compassion and develop empathy for people struggling with an opioid addiction. Empathy changes how we think and what we say. By showing empathy toward a person with opioid use disorder, we can help to reduce the barriers to seeking treatment for their disease. Remember, our actions and words do make a difference. Together, we can help reduce the stigma surrounding opioid use disorder and encourage those suffering with disease to seek treatment. Here's how you can help. Go to knowtheofacts.org homepage. Find the Take the Pledge at the top right and click on it. Then fill in your information and take the pledge. Educate yourself about this disease. Show compassion and be understanding to people struggling with opioid use disorder. Help them get treatment and support their path to recovery. You can take action to help us fight this disease by encouraging your friends and family to take the pledge to reduce the stigma surrounding opioid use disorder.